Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Gathering of Bros. I'm your host, Esquivel, joined by my co-host, Leo Veritas. Say hello, Leo.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And the one and only Boba Sid.
How it do?
How it do. We're three friends who love video games, maybe a little too much, nerd culture, poking fun at each other, and we want you guys to be a part of it. That's why we started this show. Welcome to today's gathering. All right, guys. On the docket today, we're going to be talking a little bit about Star Wars. We just got a few updates. I think I mentioned it in last week's show. Just a brief note. I'm suffering from severe allergies right now, so if I sound a little off, that's probably why.
I didn't notice. I did notice.
He totally noticed. He literally pointed it out to me before the show. You sound weird. Yeah.
I did not say that. I said you sounded sick.
That's how I heard it. So anyways, brief update on Star Wars. Then we're going to get into the nitty gritty, talking a little bit about Duel Links. Man, bringing that one back. And then we're just going to talk about Smash Bros. Because that's pretty much life right now. So yeah, welcome back to the gathering, and let's just jump on in. So we did get some announcements from Disney regarding the scheduling for the movies. It looks like the next movie that we're going to get, and keep in mind that it's currently 2019, we're going to get The Rise of Skywalker at the end in December, so it might as well be 2020. The next movie we're going to get is in 2022. And then following after that, it's going to be 2024, and then 2026. So incrementally 2 years in between now. So they're spacing it out. What do you guys think, considering that we've kind of been inundated with Star Wars? We've been getting one every year.
Spoiled.
Spoiled? What do you mean?
We're spoiled. We're getting all the Star Wars stuff.
Oh, okay. Spoilers has too many different meanings. But yes, we have been spoiled, haven't we? I feel like people craved it so much that Disney tried to tap into that craving and just drain all the money out of us for it. And now there's a little bit of Star Wars fatigue, and they're trying to pull back so that they can continue stretching out this Star Wars property that they spent, all that freaking money on. George Lucas sitting over there I don't got to worry about this crap no more. And we're over here trying to figure out the whole point of Star Wars. Are you guys excited for what's coming next? I mean, do you guys realize, have you heard anything about what's being talked about for the next few movies? Bulba, anything from you?
Haven't heard anything. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really looking either, so
I'm
just kind of letting it come as it pleases.
I could kind of, talk to you about just a few things that I've heard.
Go for it.
Right
Can
now,
you? I don't know if you can.
It's really all.
Are you able to?
May I?
I mean, if you don't want to hear anything, I can keep my lips shut. But I mean, right now it's really speculation. There's nothing.
That's always nice.
But I will say, before I stop talking, because obviously it's a hindrance with my allergies. I will say that there's speculation, considering that you guys have heard Benioff and Weiss, the producers, mastermind writers behind Game of Thrones, are the ones in charge of the next trilogy. One of the next trilogy.
I have heard it now.
I believe you had mentioned it to us the other episode.
I know I've definitely, we've talked about it prior, maybe in one of our prior episodes, or maybe one that just hasn't aired. Cough, cough. Check those out if you want to subscribe to our Patreon at some point.
Our non-existent Patreon.
So, Benioff and Weiss, if you think about what their specialty is, considering how long they've been on Game of Thrones, it's more of a hardcore medieval type vibe, right? Just they get the genre super well. And when you think of Star Wars, you think of more futuristic sci-fi, but there is a area within the genre, in particular, the Old Republic, that really pulls on that same type of medieval fantasy type of feel. You know what I mean? Knights of the Old Republic. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. There's rumors that the Knights of the Old Republic, not the game necessarily, but the era, is where we're going to be visiting in the next set of movies produced by them. That's exciting because if anyone is going to be able to take on that era, it's going to be Benioff and Weiss. They know what it's all about. There's going to be lightsabers everywhere. There's going to be tons of Sith and tons of Jedi, and they're all going to be fighting for the galaxy and for power. When it comes down to it, that's what that era was. There wasn't just two Jedi. We're talking way prior to the rule of two here, when there was only two Jedi. I'm sorry, only two Sith, like Palpatine and Vader. There was armies of Sith, and they were basically in constant conflict with the Jedi. We hear Yoda mention it in the movies, how it's been like damn near 1,000 years since they've seen a Sith. Get that in episode 1 in The Phantom Menace. So it would be a great era that we've never seen before with new characters and new storylines. I'm excited. What do you guys think about just seeing that type of era in Star Wars? Are you guys curious about it? Is it something that you actually feel like you might get invested in? Bulba?
Well, it's Star Wars. Obviously, you're going to be invested in it no matter what they do. I mean,
Well,
seriously, come on.
Even without Luke Skywalker, is that going to be Star Wars for you without essentially the Skywalker saga? I've talked to a few people. They have a hard time separating the Skywalker from the Star Wars. Like,
Well, then they're not real Star Wars fans.
Amen, brother. Amen. Thank you.
I mean, if all you think about for Star Wars is the Skywalkers, I mean, then all you care about is Skywalkers, and that's it. That's garbage. That's straight garbage.
That is garbage. Oh, you are amazing. Yes, thank you for saying that. Okay.
Star Wars is more than Skywalkers. It's the Force. It's lightsabers. It's fighting. It's
bounty hunters. It's
bounty hunters. It's everything. Everything related to space
in the universe. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm about that as well.
Thank you, Leo. Okay, jump in. What do you think about it? Are you excited to see it?
Well, you know me. I've never been a huge prequel person per se, but at the same time, this could be seen not as a prequel. This could be seen as it's entirely taken from a different...
A whole new world.
Right.
well.
Right, exactly. So I might be able to get into it.
I guess it is by Disney now, so it kind of works.
True. I can see myself diving into it. I might go into the first movie open-minded, if that is what this is about, and check it out that way. Yeah, I can see myself.
I'm super pumped. You guys know that I'm, at least I think you know, I'm a big Knights of the Old Republic fan. Like, that game, I cannot rave enough about the story of Darth Revan. What he did was amazing. He fell to the dark side and then managed to come back from it. And just his redemption story is so good. It's so good. He saved the Republic, and he was essentially the first gray Jedi because he had been deep in the Jedi, he had been deep in the Sith, and then eventually he kind of like met in the middle. If they even remotely mention him in the film, like, even if it's just in passing, like if somebody's like, "Hey, what's up, Revan?" I'd be like, "Oh, yes, please, thank you."
That was a little much.
Sound wrong at all?
That was a little much, man.
Well, you know how excited I am about it, then.
I do now.
So I'm telling you, man, like, that's essentially everyone who played Knights of the Old Republic on the original Xbox console.
Now, let me ask you this: is Knights of the Old Republic, is that canon to the actual story of Star Wars, or
it's not? But this is the interesting thing. You know, they've been picking and pulling from the old canon and putting it in new canon, right? Well,
I do now.
We've talked about it before. Like a lot of the stuff,
I just mess with you.
a lot of the stuff that they wrote after it was written, because it was all
way to spoil it for me.
Everything that they wrote past Return of the Jedi was made extended universe, and then they picked and pulled those things and applied them to the new saga, right? Well, we haven't seen anything before episode 1. Like, all that canon that existed is now, it's not confirmed as canon, but it's not confirmed as canon. They haven't touched it yet. So this would be the first time that they actually dive into that lore. So we're assuming they're going to pick and pull just like they did on the other end. Now, the interesting thing is, we know in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the series, the animated series, Dave Filoni had full mock-ups of Revan. He was going to have an episode with Revan in it. Like, if you can look it up in Google Images, type in Clone Wars Revan, and he like they had like full renderings of Revan and everything, and we'll never know what that was going to end up being because it never ended up happening. And I'm sure that when we finally jump back into the Clone Wars, because we've talked about that also previously. Clone Wars is coming back; they're finishing off that series. We're not going to see that Revan. It's a story that they flirted with, but it never came to fruition. But the fact that they were even considering it is huge. It means that they're willing to jump into his story, and I hope that at some point we can get his story told and make it canon. Let's not go too deep into that because I can literally talk about that forever. But I will.
I haven't noticed.
I will say what is interesting. You guys know that The Last Jedi, the last movie that came out a couple years ago before the Solo movie came out, was directed by Rian Johnson. So I heard a rumor. I watch a lot of different podcasts and YouTube videos, and I watch a lot of Collider. If you guys like Star Wars content, or just movie content in general, I recommend you guys subscribe to Collider. I love that group of people. Like they have really great discussions. They talk about Game of Thrones. I know we don't, so if you're trying to get your fix, I'm going to put you in their direction. Collider is amazing. So they have a couple shows where they talk about Star Wars. One of them is their Jedi Council on Thursdays. The Jedi Council comes out. And then there are other shows called The Rule of Two, which is Mark Riley and Mark Fernandez. They have this show where they riff off of each other. It's completely unscripted, and they talk about it. They revealed that there's a rumor going around that Rian Johnson, the director of The Last Jedi, his new saga, he has a trilogy that he's been rumored to have been working on, is going to be entangled in the story of Benioff and Weiss's, meaning that they're all going to be dealing with the same story, and it's two separate trilogies that will be completely connected. I heard somebody hear that and roll with it and say, well, what if one trilogy is about the Jedi and the other trilogy is about the Sith? And they're connected because it ends in a war between the Sith and the Jedi, where the Jedi defeat the Sith and they go into hiding. And I was like, dude, that sounds genius. If they're actually doing that, I think Disney is about to win back a lot of the fans that they've lost with all the controversy over The Last Jedi. And I guess you could say The Force Awakens, because the whole saga hasn't really landed with people as it has with me, at least. So what do you guys think about, just before we move on, about just that rumor of getting a whole trilogy about the Sith, maybe a whole trilogy about the Jedi, and then both of them being like connected? Leah, let's start with you. What do you think about that?
It might be hard to keep the attention of people. You know how when they do TV shows and stuff that's really good, just for an example, like Teen Titans. Teen Titans was a great show.
So good.
And,
so good. Oh my gosh.
So good.
And they and they canceled it because they they basically said that it wasn't targeting the right audience anymore. It's like the original audience it was meant for started to grow up, so they're not watching cartoons anymore or something like that. At the time, that's what they had believed, and that's why they canceled it. Yeah, exactly.
Because Cartoon Network understands millennials, right?
Yeah, exactly. Either way, I mean, again, I don't know how the movie industry is, but that might be something that they would consider. And of course, at this point, Star Wars is iconic, so I guess whatever they put out, people are going to go see, but I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Okay. All right. What about you, Boba? Would that be something you'd be excited to see, the Sith saga, the Jedi saga, and then have them be connected?
What did I say earlier? It's Star Wars. I'm good.
Yes! Thank you. Dude, thank you so much. Okay, well, that's my... that's essentially my answer. Like, it's freaking Star Wars. Put the Star Wars logo. You could put the Star Wars logo on an old beat-up car, and I would just be so interested in that car. Like, just give me more Star Wars. I don't care what it is. Just give it to me, please. And let's go ahead and move on. So, Leo, I know we're going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so I'm going to pass that to you since you've played probably the most out of all of us. Take us down the old road of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go for it.
So,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's time to duel.
Well,
yes. So I'll have Bulba involved in this with me because it really started with us. So basically, basically back in the old days of my bachelor pad, I had downloaded.
RIP.
Yeah, RIP. No one cares about that bachelor pad. No one cares about those apartments. Okay, well, for memory's sake, RIP. Anyway, so I remember downloading Duel Links maybe like a month or two, possibly just a month after it had come out, and remembering that I had played Yu-Gi-Oh on Game Boy. I can't remember what the game was called.
There was a Game Boy Advance game. It was like, I feel like it was called Yu-Gi-Oh! Advanced or something like that. Really just generic. Like
I swear it was like Game Boy Color.
It was Game Boy Color. Hold on. I know this one.
You sure?
While Bulba's looking that up, I'll continue to explain. So because of that and that memory of playing that game, I was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And it's basically speed Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's less monster zones, less spell and trap zones, and it was at the time simplified. So it was basically. Oh, go ahead.
Dark Duel Stories.
Okay, perfect.
That's the one that was on Game Boy Color.
Throwback, man. Yeah, so I had just, I don't know, memories of playing that game, so I jumped right into Duel Links. And I liked it because it was still the simplified version I remember. It wasn't involving all the advanced things. And I told Bulba about it first, and then I think I told Esk. But at the time, Esk was at school. He was finishing up his stuff. I think he was
playing games with us.
Yeah, he wasn't really playing games with us. He wasn't really friends with us anymore. We had grown apart. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys hear that small violin? That's weird.
Yeah, I heard it. Thanks, Mr. Krabs. Shout out to Mr. Krabs.
Hashtag Mr. Krabs.
But
can I just throw in real quick that?
No, you cannot.
I heard this crazy theory that the main secret ingredient for Krabby Patties is crab, and that's why Mr. Krabs is the only crab in town. You guys hear that?
No, but it would make sense.
Yeah,
it would totally make sense, and that's why he keeps it such a guarded secret, because he literally kills other crabs and uses their meat as his secret ingredient.
That actually makes me laugh so hard.
We really just got into a conspiracy theory about SpongeBob. That's great.
Yeah, dude. Anyways,
was that the ESPN? Does that the ESPN song? Oh my god, man! God.
No, it was more like the Austin Powers, like
that's still the ESPN song, bro.
I never realized how close the two were, but I mean,
keep digging yourself. It's okay.
That's the freaking ESPN.
That was not. That was not any different.
Oh man.
So Yu-Gi-Oh.
Back on topic.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had told Bulba about playing Duel Links, and I think you had downloaded it, or you were in the process, or I'm not sure. Do you remember, Bulba, at the time?
I think I had downloaded it, but I never gave it the time of day.
So
until you said something about it.
Yeah, I had recommended it, and you're like, oh yeah, I have it, and then you started playing it, and then we were both playing it, and you had gone to Target one day, and you're like, oh bro, check it out, they have these Legacy Collection Yu-Gi-Oh decks, like come over so we can play IRL. And I was like, all right, that sounds good. I don't know how to play the real version, but all right. So I ended up, I think I came over and we were going to play. And then I was like, you know what? I just got my tax return money.
Let's go to Target.
Let's go to Target. I'll buy my own. And so
we'll be irresponsible with our money.
So yeah. I literally went and bought my own. And then we played and Bulba wrecked me. And
so it's your fault.
And so
everything's always my fault.
You sabotaged us. Made angry.
Wait. Why? What are you talking about?
Because he set you down a path of brutal beatdowns in Yu-Gi-Oh, and you. Oh, now I know why it all happened. Okay, now I know it's all your fault. Thanks a lot, Bulma.
You are very welcome.
So, to explain, basically what happened was I got tired of losing. I didn't like losing, and I wanted to build my own deck. And it just so happened that at the time, I think it was Rivals of the Pharaoh was the pack that came out that had Silent Swordsman. And if you guys don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, in the
Silent Swordsman,
in the first season, at the very end, or series, I should say, at the very end, Yugi, the yes, okay, thank you, spoilers. Yugi had an ace monster that was known as the Silent Swordsman. And so I ended up gravitating towards him because he looked cool and whatever. And I ended up building a deck that beat the pre-made decks from the Legendary pack. And I was very, very irresponsible with my tax return money. And I had to have spent hundreds of dollars into Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I can see you going into Target and just grabbing all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and just go to the register, just like letting that money fly, just like making it rain.
Oh, and Toys R Us, because I would get the packs that were like basically all the leftover cards that people who had basically opened packs and like stolen cards. I don't know how it was. Maybe they sent them in and then they would just repackage them as, oh, here's a random pack. Or I don't know how they do that.
Didn't we go to Toys R Us when they were closing down to see what Yu-Gi-Oh cards they had?
Yes, we did.
Yes, multiple times.
Multiple places. Yeah. If you guys are curious how into Yu-Gi-Oh we were and it sprung, that was us. We went to a closing toy store to raid their freaking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We didn't find anything.
Yeah, there was nothing.
Nothing at all.
But regardless of that, regardless of that, we basically started playing from that point. Bulba didn't want to lose anymore, but he started getting into the next series, which was what, GX, right? That was stuff. And you liked the protagonist's deck in that one, which is Jaden, and his was Neospatians and Heroes and all that. So you got into that. In the meantime, I started building magnets, right? I think that's where I went next after Silent Swordsman was magnets.
Yeah.
And then along the line,
and Dark Magician.
We need someone else that we can beat down on. Who could that be?
So I bought
our buddy Esk.
I bought Esk a Blue Eyes
intro
deck. And from there, we all three started spending money in this game, probably for cards that are either not expensive anymore or probably really expensive, so that we could have semi-competitive decks.
So I ended up sticking with my Blue Eyes deck,
right?
And the cool thing about Blue Eyes is that
there's a lot of support for it.
It's always popular, and they're constantly adding new cards for the deck, so that way you can make it relevant in the current meta. Or at least somewhat relevant.
Same with Dark Magician, by the way.
Same with Dark Magician, yeah. So I ended up sticking with Blue Eyes hard, and I still use Blue Eyes, and I love the deck, and I still am trying to figure out how to make it more current so I can beat the crap out of you guys. But there was one card. It won't. I'm literally going to get beat down for the rest of my life. But there was one card in particular. Oh gosh, I want to say it was the Sage with Eyes of Blue. That is one of the
tuners.
It's a tuner. It's one of the cards in the deck, the tuners that you need like 3 of. They were ultra rare and really hard to find in the freaking packs. And I ended up looking on what is
Troll and Toad. Close.
I was on Troll and Toad looking for those cards, and they were like $100 a piece for one freaking card. So
I don't think they're that expensive, but they were pretty expensive.
So hard that I ended up buying myself a shit ton of the packs that they came in, like the little. I'm trying to remember, what do you call them? The
booster pack.
Are they booster packs? Is that what they are? I feel like they have another name. whatever. The booster, I bought a ton of the booster packs that they came in. Ended up getting like a billion random cards and duplicates that I didn't need just to get 3 of those freaking sages. And I did. And the funny thing is now they were re-released in mass and they're no longer as expensive as they were. So I spent all that money to get those freaking cards.
Oh, man.
I have a whole bunch of other extra cards that I don't need, and I spent all that money for nothing. So, them's the breaks, guys. Them's the breaks with Yu-Gi-Oh! And the meta is completely different now, and I don't honestly have to check it again. It's been a couple months since I checked, but I don't even know if the Sage with Eyes Blue is even worth being in the deck anymore. So we'll see.
The last I checked, because I kept up with it more than you guys did after you guys did, I ended up seeing that there were, I want to say 2 to 3 more Blue Eyes support cards that came out since we stopped playing.
I did hear about that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple of those, and there's a overarching reason why I wanted to talk about this. The reason is, yes, we play Duel Links. If you guys want to play us, hit us up. I think we have a Duel Links section in the Discord, but if there isn't,
we do. No, okay. We do.
Yeah, so hit us up, because all 3 of us have a deep-seated love for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's something that we like to play, especially when we're trying to take a break from other games like Smash or, anything else. So hit us up for that. But the other
funny
thing
is I actually was just playing Duel Links while you were talking, and I was using my Silent Swordsman deck.
Hey, shout out to the Silent Swordsman.
Totally obliterated.
You obliterated or got obliterated?
No, I totally obliterated them.
Oh, awesome. Did you check and see if they still have the Silent Sword Slash limited to 2 instead of...
Yes, it is.
I thought so. It's pretty OP. I won't lie.
It is extremely OP, and I love it so much.
And when it's in that format, it's even more OP. But regardless, the thing that I wanted to say was... Oh, actually, before we move on to what I was going to say, we didn't talk about going to a local. Bulba, tell them how we ended up going to the local, like how you found it and all that.
God, I don't remember how I found it. I think me and Mike went to this place looking for a card.
Card shop.
Yeah, this card shop. I think it was Concord?
Yeah, I think so.
Memory serves? I think it was Concord.
I think it was, yeah.
And we had just pulled up in there. Mike was wanting this specific card. It was one of the Blue Eyes.
It was
Xyz cards, I think.
It was the Xyz card. It was the Galaxy Eyes.
Oh, that's what
was
you
the
need.
Galaxy Eyes. That was my deck.
No,
you didn't want the Galaxy Eyes. You wanted the Blue Eyes Synchro monster. It was.
Oh, that's right.
Very rare.
That's right.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Oh,
and I told you to just buy the pack, and you opened it up, and lo and behold, you got it.
I got it. I remember that. Holy crap, man! That was a long time ago.
But we went there, and I just started asking, like talking to people, and because we saw him just sitting on the tables, just playing. So we just started talking to him, and they mentioned to us about a tournament that goes on every once in a while. So I can't remember where it was. It's been so long. Do you guys remember where it was?
I feel like it was in Pleasant Hill.
You're right. It definitely was Pleasant Hill, because it was farther than going to Concord for me.
It was definitely farther than Concord,
yeah.
I thought it was like San Jose or something, but...
Yeah, it wasn't too far. It wasn't that far, but it definitely was like Pleasant Hill area.
It was inland, wherever it was. I know it was inland.
Oh, okay.
It caught us balls that day, too.
But yeah, we went, and I'm pretty sure we got wrecked.
All of us did. And
you know why? Because the freaking Zodiacs.
God.
Zodiacs.
Zodiacs got, if memory serves, they got completely nerfed when Link They're not even
done.
Used anymore.
They're done. And the other ones were the Draco Slayers, I think is what the deck is.
That was the one that I think you got wrecked on.
I did get wrecked from
every
Dracos.
match that I played, I was against the Zodiac.
Me too.
It was awful.
Yeah, it had completely engulfed the meta. But what's funny is after that, all 3 of us learned what the meta was, and we were going to go back. At the time, Boba had just moved, or like before that, he was going to move. When we were at the tournament, he was going to move. And then a week later or something like that, you moved, and we went on our dudes trip. We played Yu-Gi-Oh the whole time. Esk and I were like,
I actually won some games, believe it or not. That was the best time of my life.
I was running proxies for my one magnet deck and my Silent Swordsman deck. I taught Esk how to beat it because he wasn't understanding that all he needed to do was have traps. And yeah, it was great. It was a good dudes trip. But I still have all of my decks here. Chrissy and I, shout out to my wife, Chrissy Veritas. We play Yu-Gi-Oh. We actually played Yu-Gi-Oh the night of our wedding in our hotel room. So
Nice.
we still occasionally play. It's been a minute. I want to say maybe a couple months, but Esk and I played the most recently, obviously, because Bulba is not in the same state as us anymore. But
Sad day.
You need to remind me to bring my decks next time I come over so we can play.
oh yeah,
I think y'all should just have a
I'm
dude
still
trip out
fine.
to where I'm at so we can all play.
you know what we can do, and we did this. Esk and I did this. Is we could just Skype duel. I mean, I think
Dude.
Bulba, we did that.
Yeah, me and you did that while I was at work.
Yeah.
I did it with
While
you.
I was still there.
I freaking was out in my backyard and playing, cards with you over Skype.
I'm
My dad looked
totally
at me
I'm
like,
totally down,
This is
man.
my son. He's like,
This is my son.
this is my son. This is my offspring. What, God?
Well,
No, seriously, I think y'all should still come out here.
I love to.
get someone to work for me, and I will.
Well, I just
Josh.
got a new job, so I'll start putting money in.
What?
Gravy boy.
The shout out to Gravy Boy. Reason that I was even talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, and maybe this will alleviate having to Skype duel. They're releasing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution for the Switch.
Yay.
What?
Right. So
Right.
Bulba and I have played Legacy of the Duelist on the PlayStation, and
I think I'm down.
it didn't wow me when I played it. How about you, Bulba?
I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh, so I mean, it was cool. But
Yeah, to an extent.
it's just your typical Yu-Gi-Oh game. I mean, there's nothing special about Yu-Gi-Oh games to begin with. So
Does it play more true to the actual game and the rule set? Whereas like Duel Links is a little different. It's more like a sped up version.
yeah, it's just same as you're playing normally, but I mean, you can't go and get specific cards. You have to duel for the cards and just hope that RNG drops them.
Yeah, it's
For
all
God, Yugi.
it's RNG based, so you don't get to just go get the cards that you want, and that is the bummer. But
So there's a grind to it.
right. So are you gonna get it, Bulba?
If you are,
I might do it. I don't know when it's releasing exactly. I know that it's out in Japan, and they announced that it was releasing for the Americas. But
I might
mean,
get the digital copy.
I might do it.
I don't know how to do Link Duel, so I guess I might, because that's one thing I did like about Legacy of the Duelist is if you don't know how to play,
It teaches you.
it'll teach you everything.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to learn. At least I think Leo is too, because I don't think he even knows how to do it. But
It's been a minute. I actually did learn, and one of the decks that Chrissy has is a Link deck because we were still playing and occasionally getting cards here and there. But I haven't kept up with the meta in a few months, and at this point, I have no idea even if her deck is viable. But yeah, I have to get reminded. I don't even remember how to do it.
yeah, I have some Link cards too. But we were playing. I mean, we've been playing for a really long time, even after the Link deck version came out and they revised it, and we just like never did it. We just kind of kept playing the old way. So maybe it's time for us to figure it out. I don't know.
Off recording, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think we do need a Skype duel. I'm ready.
Wait, are you
Are you ready?
recording now, or you're saying like?
I'm saying for when we get off recording, not on recording. But yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Bring that tin out of your closet, Bulba. I know it's in there.
Ooh. That deck, I'm not going to lie to you. My deck is in my truck.
No way.
Yes way.
Have you seen that meme? I'm gonna post it in the meme section of our Discord. Have you seen that meme? It's just like getting ready to send someone to the Shadow Realm at any point, and it's literally like they have their wallet and they're taking a card out of the Yu-Gi-Oh card out of their wallet.
You know what? I think I have seen that one posted anyway.
I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I was working at Starbucks right after I got back from school, if you guys can remember. And
I can't remember.
There was this group of dudes that used to come in and play cards all the time. And believe it or not, it was actually a custom-made card game that they had created. And, like, the cards were actually pretty decent that they had made. They made them all from scratch and original artwork. It was freaking amazing. And I was talking to him about it one time, and I was like, I play, Yu-Gi-Oh! With my buddies, and, I got a Blue Eyes deck. And he was like, oh, well, you got it with you right now? And I was like, no, I'm working. He goes, well, I got mine in my car.
Oh, my gosh, dude. That reminds me.
He goes, hold on, I'll go get it. You can look at it. So he went and got his Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck, and I was looking at it while I was at work, and my boss is like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What's wrong with you?
You need to make coffee, finish, sweeping and mopping the lobby, and then get back here. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, anyway, yeah, so that was our little Yu-Gi-Oh! Section, and I'm dead serious about playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down, bro. I'm always down.
You ain't ready?
I'm ready.
You ain't about this life?
I'm
ready.
legitimately not ready. I'm not ready.
This ain't no game. This ain't recess. You ain't gonna be ready for this.
What's funny is I think I'm going to have to mail you some cards, Boba, because I'm pretty confident that I had some Galaxy Eyes cards that I need to send to you.
Very good.
I need to get on Frog and Toad again. I mean, Troll and Toad.
Frog and Toad.
Frog and Toad.
Wait, isn't that a book? That's a book.
Yeah, that's a book.
I think so.
That's a children's book.
That was a good book.
That's great.
Mind of a child over here.
All right, so moving on. We're going to talk about Smash.
Y'all trying to smash?
We're going to talk about Smash.
Wow, it's
Smash.
So, the next character that I want to get into Elite is either Cloud or Meta Knight, because...
I thought you were going to drop a freaking, brand new character DLC that I didn't hear about.
Oh, gosh, bro, I wish.
I got excited.
Dude, it's going to be Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie for Smash would be awesome.
God, please.
I would love that.
I need it so bad.
I would love that. But, yeah, no, I'm trying to get Meta Knight into Elite, either Meta Knight or Cloud, Greninja. I've literally just been trying different characters that I've been playing with you guys just randomly.
How much have you played on Meta Knight? Is it minimal? Would you say it's minimal?
Very, very minimal.
Okay, so I had the pleasure of playing you then yesterday as Meta Knight. My overall assessment...
I don't know if it was a pleasure for you or not, but...
Considering that you just said that you've minimally played him, dude, you can do it. Like, if you put in some more time...
You can do it!
Just even with a basic understanding of his moveset, you were giving me a hard time.
I think what I have problems with Meta Knight with is his kill options. I don't quite understand, because it takes forever to use that smash attack of his. It's powerful. It does like 20%, but it takes a while. So unless I just read my opponent perfectly.
Maybe you just need to get used to him a little more. But
Yeah.
your sustain is outstanding.
My sustain being what?
Yeah, it took so long for me to kill you. I could not freaking kill you. So if you can master his spacing and his timing as far as the attacks are going to deal the most damage, which honestly will come in time. All you have to do is keep playing him in practice. I mean, you have the resources. You're in N64 Josh's Discord.
You have the technology.
You have the technology. You have the skill. It means just do it, dude. You got it. Just keep practicing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to try them out. I want to get all these characters into Elite. And shout out to Mr. Cool Red Luigi in the different Discords that I'm in. Really cool dude. And he's just like the random master. Like, he'll hop into arenas and he'll just be random and he will kick your ass with anybody in random. Like, he's really good.
Random?
So, yeah, dude, he's awesome. He literally has, I think, 3 to 4 more characters left to get into Elite.
Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. So shout out to Mr. Cool. I aspire to be that good and understand the fundamentals of all the characters. But Boba, I wanted to ask you, because I'm
then
going to you
question,
first.
Sir.
I'm asking.
Ask it. Ask away.
How do you
Hey.
How do you feel?
I say ask away.
How do you feel your growth is coming along?
I feel like it's not but from what you guys are saying, it's coming along quite nicely.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Especially your Mewtwo. Every time I see you play Mewtwo now, you're better than the last time.
So that was another question I was going to ask. Did you officially change mains? Are you officially maining Mewtwo, or are you going to switch off between Sonic and Mewtwo and Sonic as your main?
I think I'm going to main Mewtwo and pocket Sonic. I'm still going to use Sonic, but I feel like Mewtwo is more of my friend.
Your friend. Okay.
And I say that because, yeah, I have you for Sonic, but you don't use him like Anvil uses Mewtwo.
Shout out to Anvil.
Shout out to Anvil. Okay, so I think it was 3 days ago, when I just decided to use him out of shits and giggles against P-Murph. Shout out P-Murph.
Sorry.
And right after that, the next day, I just hit up Anvil because I saw he was online. I just added him and said, "Hey man, hook me up, help me out." And he was like, "All right, well I just got home, so you want to jump in VC and we'll do this?" Me and him, he was going at least 85% of the time was going at me full force with Mewtwo, and I actually took a couple stocks from him.
Nice.
Not in a row, but over the course of the couple hours that we were playing, and just me and him on voice chat, going over everything. He even sent me his notes for Mewtwo, confirm kills, what to do here and there, and whatnot, and a couple videos on Mewtwo. Just those couple hours, I feel like I leveled up like crazy. Just within the 2 days that I was playing with Mewtwo. I can't believe how quickly it went. So just based off of that, I think that's why Mewtwo is going to be my main.
Yeah, man. Anvil is awesome. He legit beats me when we play. It's probably 55% of the time. I mean, that might be generous in my direction, but either way, he's really good. He's really good. And
yeah,
shout out
dude,
to
he's
him.
insane with Mewtwo.
That's awesome, man. So you like him better than Sonic, like in comparison to Sonic, or just you like the resources that come with Mewtwo?
Well, I like the resources, yeah, but I like him better than Sonic because with Sonic, you have to be in your opponent's face 100% of the time.
Right.
Otherwise, you're not going to do anything. You can't reflect anything, any projectile, so you got to overpower your opponent with speed and just keep going and going and going. Don't let them do anything. Whereas with Mewtwo, if you're spaced out and they try to throw a projectile, you just use confusion on them and it shoots it back, so that he has a reflection option, which is awesome.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, I made note of that the other day too when I was playing you. I didn't realize that the confusion actually has a reflection option, and I think I was playing you as Wolf, and you reflected that beam at me, and I was like, "What?" Like, I didn't even realize it could do that. So yeah, he's super versatile, and I can tell like you have a lot in your arsenal to use, and I think that's probably what makes you so attracted to the character. So yeah, man.
I think my favorite thing about Mewtwo would be his disable down B.
Oh yeah,
because you disable your opponent, he stuns them for X amount of time. They have to try to get out of it, and all you have to do is do a down smash, and boom, he's gone.
Yeah, especially at a higher percent, there's nothing you can do.
That reminds me of P. Murph and his Jigglypuff.
Putting you to sleep, and
he sings you to sleep, and then he does a smash, and he holds it for like a really long time.
And does it right before you wake up.
Yeah, it's right as you're waking up.
Dirty.
I think he does it just to mess with you.
Dirty.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Sweet. Is there anything that you feel like you're lacking in terms of your game? Like, is there something like right off the bat that you're noticing that, and I guess I'll plug this here. So anyone who wants any Smash resources, obviously Google it. But on YouTube, there is Izaw Smash. He has a really good set of videos. I think it's 6 parts total, but like the last one's really meant for if you're a pro already and you need like a mindset check or you know just a headspace thing. But it's basically 4 parts, and it's learning the ins and outs of the game in general. So, the lingo and just everything. We watched that. I sent that to Bulba first and then to Esk. And
wow.
Because of that, just wow. Because of that, and knowing the lingo at least a little bit, do you feel like right now you can determine a part of your game that needs to be fixed or changed?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Fast falling. For some reason, whenever I'm in the air and I'm coming down, I can't remember to fast fall. I just can't do it. Also, I can't short jump and fast fall, or like full jump and fast fall. I can't get the timing down, at least not right now, for any character at all. But other than that, I would have to say my itchy finger for air dodging. Whenever I'm trying to recover, I instantly go to air dodge. I really think it's because of my Sonic play, because a lot of what gets me to recover with Sonic was air dodging at an angle upward.
Right.
And with Mewtwo, you can't do that because of the lag time after his air dodge. It doesn't allow you to do anything.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It makes me self-destruct so many times. It's awful. So I need to get into the habit of not even touching my shield button when I'm in the air.
Dude, I'm right there with you on that one.
So that's awesome. And we'll come back to this every week in this section just so we can see how each of us are learning and adapting to the different situations. Esk, how are you liking Smash currently now that you've had it for a week?
It's a beautiful game. I love the evolution of it. I love where it's gotten to. It is a bit frustrating realizing how much of the fundamentals are different than previous games, because you and me in particular, Leo, have played so much on Brawl and Smash 4 that I have bad habits now, essentially, that weren't bad habits before. And trying to break those habits when we play has proven difficult. Especially, I didn't realize how to utilize a lot of the new fundamentals. It wasn't until you sent that video to me and I watched it that it was like a freaking light bulb went on.
Exactly.
And I was like,
which is what we were trying to tell you for days, and you just would not do it.
In particular, there was only a couple things. Like, a lot of it is like really redundant, but there's a couple things in particular that really, really I needed to hear to figure out how to do it, because I couldn't figure it out on my own. And that's mostly teching. Teching, dude. Oh my gosh. And then
definitely helps.
Oh yeah, gosh, I have that problem. I don't tech enough.
Dude, I didn't realize how I was teching incorrectly. Like, my main problem, especially when I'm coming at you with any character, and your Toon Link, Leo, is you will get me in a combo, and once you get your initial hit, I'm your ragdoll to play with. About 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, I'm trying to get out of it. And I've tried jumping, doing everything I could do possible. My main issue is I'm not timing it properly. I'm not hitting the buttons when the character does what it does, when it hits the ground. Like, I'm not timing it properly. I'm just like panicking and trying to mash buttons and get out of it. It's just not working for me. And you're just punishing me. And now that I know how to get out of it, I feel like with practice, I can finally start to improve that. And it will actually keep my sustain much longer.
Definitely.
The main issue is you go a whole stock, and, it takes me 2 stocks to get you up to 90 damage. And then even there, like, you're doing so much damage to me because I can't avoid you from getting your combos. I literally am incapable of avoiding your combos. You are wrecking me so hard. Now that I know how to tech properly, it's going to help a lot.
Oh, for sure.
The other thing is the fact that I can't do enough damage to you. I couldn't figure out why. I was like, dude, I just hit you with a smash attack. How is this possible? Well, it's because of the staling.
When you stale moves.
Yes.
Right. So basically what he's saying is I believe Aizawa said there's like a list of like 9 moves, right?
Yeah, it's
that
9. I just watched it a second ago.
Yes. So it basically will make the moves do less and the knockback do less. If it's within the 9 previous moves that you've just done, whether that's...
You have to cycle through them. You have to use 9 to... Well, let's call it 10. Let's call it even 10. You have to use 10 different moves before you can get the full effect from the move that you use.
Right.
Which means
And
you
it
have
resets after you die, so just die if you want.
Yeah.
or you die. If you die, it resets. But the main issue that I've been having is I'm too dependent on a very specific moveset or smash attack because it's the only one that's successful for me. But by doing that, it's making every time I manage to hit you with it less effective than the previous one. So it totally makes sense how I know I'm hitting you. I know I'm getting attacks. Some of them are hitting directly. Others I'm getting the tail end of it, and that's another thing that I also discovered.
Sweet spot and sour spot.
The sweet and sour spots, yeah.
That's another thing that was really important. So not only is it stale, but I'm hitting in the sour spot, and it's not really doing much, like almost at all, right? Everything makes sense now. Why I'm not doing enough damage to you, why I'm your ragdoll, everything makes sense. I need so much more practice to get fundamentals incorporated into my game, and especially now that I've figured out, based on my quick plays that I played yesterday, like who I'm really most effective with.
Well, perfect, because that'll lead into my next question. But before I ask that next question, which is going to be who's your main, I wanted to say in terms of breaking old habits, don't worry if you get frustrated with that. And this is for everyone listening also, because I still have old habits. For example, I don't know if you remember, Esk, because you kind of had Toon Link as a pocket here and there. When you would throw out the boomerang and somebody would reflect it back towards you, you can charge up the arrow and hit the boomerang and it would stop the boomerang's momentum. So you wouldn't have to shield it as it came back or jump over it as it came back.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in this game. The boomerang will come back regardless of whatever you hit with it. So that's something that I still do to this day. I did it yesterday. That even though I know and even though I've been trying to not do it, it still happens. So,
dude, I literally did that. I realized that yesterday.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to you guys earlier off recording, I was playing a quick play series. I played like 6 games with this guy. I was so frustrated. He kept teabagging me. Dude, the guy was oh my gosh. He was my nerd. So he's late, right?
Let the rage continue.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is, I'm so used to a Link using heavy projectiles that I was almost like I was Wolf. I was almost anticipating it, right? So what he would do is he would not use any projectiles for like 2 stocks. And then at the very end of the match, all he would do was projectiles. And at that point, I was already conditioned to not expect it. He was wrecking me. But something I found interesting is once he finally decided to throw his boomerang, this is Link, regular Link, not Young, not Toon, regular Link. He threw his boomerang, and I would fire my laser cannon, and it would hit his boomerang and slow it down. My shot would continue and hit him, but his boomerang kept coming, and it would hit me. And he was timing that freaking so accurately and taking full advantage of it and punching me. And I was like, wait a second. That used to not happen, and it just dawned on me now that you mentioned that. Yeah, that's something that's changed. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So, just know for anyone listening, it's okay to get frustrated with this game. And as Esk knows, it's going to take a minute before you realize the mechanics and how things are played. And sometimes you just have an epiphany, and you're like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Or, oh, this combo works, or whatever. And sometimes you just got to push past it. But, Esk, who are you maining? Who did you decide to go with?
Okay, so, as you know, I was a hardcore Fox main for like the longest time. It was the only one I really felt confident that I could contest you with your Toon Link. But of course things have changed. I don't like how Fox feels too much in this game. He's so light, and I just don't like getting ragdolled, feeling like even if I do correctly DI, cough, cough, another thing that I freaking... even if I do correctly DI, he's so light that even with minimal damage, I'm freaking gone, right? So that frustrates the crap out of me. That might change if I can really get down his combos and be able to contest more. Right now, I'm too much of a freaking punching bag, but I'm stepping away from Fox a little bit. I toyed with Wolf. I like Wolf in that he has more power. He sacrifices a lot of the speed and reach that you get with Fox for that power. So you have to compensate. What's throwing me off is I'm so used to playing as Fox that when I play as Wolf, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I do know that Falco is another that I was, toying with. I think I prefer Wolf to Falco even. So I did finally unlock Cloud, and I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, so of course I was going to dabble with it. But I feel like he plays even a little different than he used to, because I remember playing him in 4 and feeling like it just didn't feel right. Something about it just didn't sit right with me, and I didn't want to play him. He was too slow, and maybe I was just too used to Fox. But I'm really vibing on Cloud right now. I feel like if I can get his combos down and, remember that I can't keep using the same move because it gets stale and then I'm not doing anything, I feel like I can really get good with Cloud. I like even playing you as Cloud yesterday, Leo. I'm still learning, I haven't really put a lot of time in on him. You taught me that he can do a few things that I didn't realize. For example, his down B is his charge of his limit. Right. But once you hit your limit break, your down B is no longer charged, and it's actually a move that I had no freaking idea existed, because in my mind, oh yeah, my limit is hit. Why am I going to charge? So I just never tried it. I don't know why it never dawned on me. And it's a tornado. It's an up attack. So I thought that was something that I can incorporate. And
and it's kind of like Little Mac's KO punch. It'll kill if you're at 60% or something like that.
I utilized it yesterday in a couple quick play matches, and it caught my opponent off guard because I was using other moves for most of the match. And it's something that they didn't expect. So it's good to know that you have somebody like Mewtwo is for Boba, with a large arsenal of moves that you can maybe keep one hidden in your pocket for a little bit and then bust it out and be like, oh, you didn't see that coming. So I really like Cloud.
Yeah, man, I can actually attest to your progression with Cloud, because I remember when you first dabbled on him and we fought, and you were pretty trash. But
thanks for your confidence.
You were pretty trash. But last night when we played, you completely wrecked me as Mewtwo, and I think that was great, because last night I was feeling so high on Mewtwo. It kind of brought me down, and I was like, okay, now I need to actually focus again on what's going on and try and improve.
So this is
the great thing is we keep each other on our toes and constantly be getting better.
So this is a perfect outro for Smash before we start talking about anime and then close out. But I think it's great to have someone who's along your skill level to play with them so that you can learn. And then also, and I'm not gassing myself. I'm not saying that I'm the greatest Smash player, because I'm not a pro or anything like that.
I'm saying you are, but hey.
But either way, I am better than you guys currently.
I'm sorry, but P. Murph. Oh gosh.
I love and hate fighting P. Murph.
His DDD. His freaking King DDD, man.
And I know he's gonna get a kick out of this. So shout out to Murph. But
God.
what I was gonna say is, it's good to have someone to play who's better than you. Also, because you can see how they play. You can see what you're doing wrong, and you can get better from that. Which is why it's also good if you guys ever end up joining one of these tournaments, and I suggest that you do, the online tournaments like that N64 Josh hosts or the Beyond the Metagame dudes host. If you end up being on stream, you can go back and watch your games and see what you did wrong, see what you need to improve on, and whatnot. So,
I'm definitely going to be joining the next tournament, that whatever one you join that's online, because obviously I can't go to California and join any of the other ones over there.
Exactly. No locals.
And I don't have any here, so.
That is so strange. And I don't know if they have a Facebook group. I don't know if you've looked into that. But
no, I haven't even looked.
Definitely try that, because I actually found the NorCal Smash group on Facebook because someone said, oh, look for a Facebook group. And then from there, I ended up finding out that they have a Discord. So and maybe it'll help you find... There has to be some tournaments near you somewhere. So
I hope so, because
either that or
I need to test it out.
Either that or become a TO and host it yourself.
Well,
yeah,
I guess we'll have some tournaments here in the G.O.B.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to do that.
Idea.
I'd love to do that. But yeah, Esk, I'll throw it back to you and we can close this out with talking about some anime.
All right, guys. So, man, I'm so pumped to be talking about anime right now. I have been...
You and me both, sister.
Yes, queen.
Wow.
I've been really diving into anime like pretty intensely, and I've really rekindled my love for the genre as a whole. It's weird. You get comfortable once you see a couple that are like your top favorite shows, and then you just like, nothing could beat this, and
you don't dabble into anything else.
Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah, there's nothing's going to be greater than that, and then you start to fall away from it, and you think, oh well, there's not a lot of long running ones, they can't contest, and then subscribe to Funimation, and you're like, holy crap, there's so many shows on this app. Let's see what they got to offer, and you start watching a few of these, like maybe single season runs. Maybe they wrap up in one season, maybe they don't. Maybe they wrap up in two, maybe they don't. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing stories on these like other shows that I'd never even considered giving a chance. So there's a bunch that I've been watching. I know that first and foremost, I want to talk about a couple that I recently finished watching. The first of which is A Certain Magical Index. Now, is it my favorite? Is it something that I'm going to rave about and tell you guys that you absolutely need to watch? No. But it was a decent anime. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not done yet. It's not finished. I want to say it's close to like 70 episodes. So it's something that you could binge and just watch for an extended period of time if you wanted. The setting of it, it's more of a modern day, and it's like a religious war type setting where you have the English Puritan Church versus the Catholic Church versus science. It's about this guy who encounters this girl, like every anime ever. And this girl, her name is Index, and she has a photographic memory and has memorized, I can't remember.
Got it memorized?
It's a staggering number. It's like 300,000 or something like that. 300,000 grimoires, which are books that contain magic that is of angels and demons. And it's usually like, apparently in this story, a human cannot read a grimoire because that knowledge, it destroys their bodies. But for some odd reason, this girl has been able to catalog all of these grimoires, these forbidden texts in her brain. And it's kind of about her journey as the index of all these grimoires with Toma, who is the main character. It's a really interesting show. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of moments where I was like completely and utterly lost and like trying to figure out if I had missed an episode because I'm like so lost. But if you push through it, they eventually start to explain things to you and things make sense. And overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. That's just like one of the anime that I've watched recently that I wasn't super satisfied with, but I'm actually glad that I watched it because it was enjoyable. And then there's another one that I really wanted to talk about. It was one that I didn't expect to really get me in the feels. Assassination Classroom. Okay. The big yellow smiley face throws you, honestly. Like you don't know what's
kind of why I haven't dabbled into it, but now that I'm hearing that it's good, then
yeah. You see it and you're like, oh, well, that looks stupid. And like you read the premise and in like a classroom of kids whose mission is to assassinate their teacher. It's like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Soul Eater, but like,
I didn't even get that far into it. I saw the picture and I was like, eh.
I like Soul Eater.
Well, just like even the description of the show, it reminds me of Soul Eater, but a version that like I would hate. And I actually liked Soul Eater. I'm in the forums all the time on Funimation because I'm like constantly trying to figure out like what to watch next because my life is boring. So
this is what happens when you don't have a girlfriend.
Well,
you just ruined me. Thank you.
All the air. Did you hear that air just go out? It's just like.
What's my excuse?
I got stabbed in the soul.
You're at work, man.
So anyway,
True.
Assassination Classroom. I gave it a shot. Everybody kept raving about it in the forum, saying that it's really good and I should give it a shot. So I watched it, and it's 2 seasons long. It's not an entirely long anime. It's about 40 episodes, I want to say. And holy crap, dude. Like, for an anime that I didn't expect much from, I was actually really attached to the characters. I was very satisfied with the character growth. Every time there was a new character added, it just added so much depth to the show. And probably my favorite part about it, it's probably the best anime I've ever seen in regards to wrapping everything up and closing all the mysteries that it had set up throughout the show. Like, it answered questions, and I felt like I don't need anything else. I don't need to see anymore. I'm not craving it. I'm like, I got everything that I needed from that anime. So if you guys are looking for a really good one, let's give it a shot. I think you guys will really like it. What else I really liked about it was it's referential. It references other animes throughout the whole it's almost like breaking the fourth wall. You know what I mean? There are these moments where they say something that's totally directed towards you, the anime viewer, and it's talking about other anime. And it's kind of like, hey. And there was a few moments where there was kind of cameos in the show towards the end, especially. There's this one anime that I want to watch now because it referenced it and there was kind of a cameo. And it's about, oh gosh, he's like a psychic. It's the disastrous life of Psyche K. He had a cameo in the show. I totally am going to go back and watch that now just because he appeared in an anime that I happen to particularly like. So it's cool that that kind of stuff happens. But yeah, let's hear from you guys. What are some that you guys are watching right now, or maybe that you're considering watching? Bulba, I know you're itching to get in this conversation, so let's just go for it.
Yeah, I need more on my list. I already caught up to Black Clover.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Black Clover is great.
Once you finish, you're like, okay, I need something else now. Please, give me something, please.
All right, so basically, from the last time we talked, I've watched Goblin Slayer. And I can honestly say that the way you were describing the first episode of Goblin Slayer was nowhere near
as bad as it was.
It wasn't as bad as what you were describing it.
Really? I mean,
no, not at all.
It's not a graphic rape. It's like
it makes the insinuation that it's happening. It doesn't tell you that's how they reproduce. That's why they're doing it.
It
does later in the episodes, kind of, but it doesn't specifically mention that's how they reproduce. But it wasn't as graphic as you were making it out to be, and
okay, now,
I was kind of expecting it to be very graphic.
Like, oh my god, that is no. But so it's more of the idea of what's happening behind it. It's like really.
So basically, after me watching that, I don't understand why people can't get into it because it's really not that bad.
It's not. I think a lot of people freaked out too much over it. But my main point is I wanted to prepare you guys for it because the first episode is really uncomfortable because of the rape that occurs. But after that, it's not so in your face as that first episode. It's more.
I think they show it again once or twice, but it's not as detailed as the first episode. They just kind of brush over it and just you see a bunch of women on the ground and that's it.
Yeah,
but
it's more insinuated.
But anyway, so yeah, I watched that. I can honestly say that it's a good anime. It's just, I think the thing that threw me off of it is and I know this is just weird, but the intros of anime always bring me into watching them. And the intros of Goblin Slayer didn't bring me in. I only kept watching it because the show actually was good and because you said it was good.
Thank you. Well, me in particular, as far as intros go, if I encounter a really good intro, I do sit through it sometimes. Not for every episode, obviously.
Steins Gate.
Oh yes, totally, dude.
Love
yeah,
that
but
intro.
like,
I can't get into Steins Gate. Can't do it.
dude, like,
Oh, bro,
I
you
can't
need,
do it.
dude.
It's so boring.
It's not, man. It's really
It
not.
does not keep my attention whatsoever.
Oh, bro,
how far did you get in?
Like, I only watched the first episode, and I just can't get myself
man.
to do
Oh,
it again.
dude.
I
Listen.
can't do it.
Listen.
I can't. I just can't do it.
You have to do it. Listen to me. You will literally come onto the show and you will thank us on recording because it is the most fantastic, just mind
Challenge
blowing.
accepted.
Do it.
Dude, we both felt the same way that you do.
I just can't
And
bring
so-
myself with all this other anime. I just can't bring myself.
It's
to go
not
back
that
to it.
much. It's not that much, man.
Okay,
You can do it. Knowing you can do it. You can push through and watch it. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. You will like it. I make it a guarantee. Like
All right, fine.
I literally
Once
will.
I finish everything else I'm watching, then
Yeah.
I'll dabble back into it. But
Like-
In his defense, he has some things on his list that he's probably more interested in. Let him get to those.
Right.
And then once he's done, then we'll force him.
So
We'll go where we have to and force him to watch the show.
let me just say this. Okay. So do you trust my recommendations in anime? I'm literally the reason that you guys are both in animes right now, like to the extent that you are, because I started telling you guys to watch these shows. So do you trust my recommendations, Bulba?
no,
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Yes, maybe partially.
Let
Sometimes? Question mark.
Let me just say, I've watched some bad animes. I pushed through just because at the time I wanted to watch something. I wanted to not watch the typical stuff that was on. I wanted to watch some anime. So I watched some bad
Right.
ones. But this is literally in contention for one of my top anime. I would say top 3 anime.
That's how good the story is.
And
Like,
that's coming from me.
dude.
The story is
All right.
fantastic.
Since y'all both say it's
Like-
that fantastic, then I'll consider watching
And-
it after
and-
everything else.
And here's what I'm going to say. At first, yes, it's so confusing. And you're like, what the heck are they talking about? What the heck is this? What is that? I kid you not. It's masterful in the way that it puts everything together. And, the character development, the voice acting, like, dude, the intro song, it's great. Honestly, I'm thinking about just stopping new anime to rewatch it and just telling you about it.
Dude,
Because-
I'm like, I've been on the verge for like a week and a half now. It's on my list on Funimation, and I have to pass it every time I go to the anime that I'm watching. Like, I'm thinking about it every time.
Yeah, I'm just
All right,
saying,
fine.
like,
I'll do it.
maybe,
I'll do it. Oh my god, I'll do it.
maybe even leapfrog a couple of others that you have lined up to watch before it.
Just make sure it's in this rotation at
Yeah,
some point.
and
It's in the rotation.
don't
It just
don't
gets
let
passed.
don't let it get past. Is what I'm saying.
Like,
Because
okay, if you
it's
can
so
recall,
worth
Leo,
it, bro. It's so worth it.
If you can recall, Leo, you were the first one to watch it, and you were like, "Dude, you gotta watch it, right?"
Yeah.
You tell me, based on your memory of the conversation that I had with you about the show, what did I tell you?
Oh gosh, something along the lines of, I don't know if I can get into this, but I'm trusting you. And then, okay, this is starting to get good. And then something like, this is like a quote from you. This is like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then you're freaking out. And then something along the lines of, bro, this is one of the best animes I've ever watched in my
That's
life.
legitimately what happened. That was the roller coaster of emotions. I was
All right.
so grateful. I was
Y'all
like-
convinced me. I'll give it another try. I'll have to rewatch the first episode because I
And here's
wasn't
the
even
thing.
paying attention to half of it because it was just
So yeah, I know, dude. It's hard, but
Yeah.
trust me, it's
Yeah.
freaking worth it, dude. It is so.
I'm not gonna lie, like when I went back and rewatched it for the second time, I watched it with Gravy. Or actually, no, I didn't. I watched it with Chrissy when I rewatched it.
I've watched
because-
it twice too.
Because I wanted to get the things that I missed originally, and it's even better when you rewatch it the second time, knowing what they set up.
all right. I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, man, do it.
Y'all suck, but I'll do it.
Okay. So here's my quick recommendation. So yes, Steins Gate, to anyone who hasn't watched it, go watch it. But also, if you haven't watched Eureka 7, go watch it.
It's on my list.
Watch it.
Yeah, it's on my list now.
It is literally one of my favorites. It's not in my top because there's so many good animes, but it has my record for most binged anime in a day. I literally had binged 25 episodes. I think it's like 50 or 49 or something like that. I binged 20. I binged 25 episodes in one day because I was so sucked in and because I was so invested into the characters and just their relationships in general.
You know, that's how I was when I started watching that Shield Hero. What's it called? Rising of the Shield Hero, I think it.
I started to watch that.
Good.
Yeah, I started to watch it.
Oh my god. I can't. I was so upset when I hit the last episode that is right now. You said it comes Wednesday?
Every Wednesday. It's on and it's early too. It's on at like 11 o'clock. Well, I guess that's our time over here. It's probably a little
it's
later
1 o'clock
for you.
over here.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's about 1 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Dude, every Wednesday. It's tomorrow. I'm jonesing so hard because of where it left off.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much how I was when I watched the last episode. I was like, what? That's it? I need more of this. This is just too much. I need it.
Dude, it reminds me. Okay, it's basically if Sword Art Online and that time I got reincarnated as a slime had a baby.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's so good.
I started watching today, so I'll update everyone next week. But let's close this out.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us again today on the Gathering of Bros. Remember, there are a bunch of ways that you can keep in touch with us and chat with us about all the things we talked about in today's show, as well as anything you might want to hear us talk about in our future episodes. You can get a hold of us at our Twitter at Gathering of Bros. Again, that's at Gathering of Bros. You can find the link to our Discord server where you can chat with us, play games, just overall have a good time with us. So if you have any questions or comments, like I said, make sure to send us an email at gatheringofbros@gmail.com, gatheringofbros@gmail.com. We really appreciate any and all feedback. If you want to just sit and write a long essay about your favorite Smash Bros. Character, or maybe like tell us why you think one character should be in the game, anything at all, just do it. We want to read it and engage with you about it.
And maybe we'll talk about it on the show?
And give you a shout out, maybe. So yeah, that'd be fun. We're also on Spotify, guys. If you guys have Spotify, you can catch us on there. We're also on Apple Podcasts. And, of course, we have a YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and click the notifications so that you are notified every time our show comes on the channel. Wonderful that you guys were able to join us today. You guys have a good rest of your night. Catch you next week for The Gathering. Until then, stay gold.
Peace out.
Peace out.